This is Dr. Mike, host of the free iTunes podcast, Psychiatric Secrets Revealed with Dr. Mike. But that's not why I'm here today. This is another Saving Savvy episode. This time we're looking at the third and last little mini-series on soup. In the first episode, we made soup a very traditional way, in a pot. In the second way, we made it a very fast way, in a pressure cooker. And this time, we're going to make it in a crock pot. So the great thing about a crock pot is it takes a long time, but you can set it up in the morning, and you pretty much have dinner ready when you come home from work or if you're out someplace. So let's go into the Dr. Mike test kitchen and make some soup, this time in a crock pot.
Well, here we are with our two-part crock pot soup. This is going to be a minestrone soup, and it starts out with 6 cups of water, about a pound or a pound and a half of cut up beef, a can of diced tomatoes, some beef bouillon or beef base, a chopped up onion. You may ask, why am I using a red onion? It's because that's what we happen to have. It also has some spices initially. That includes 2 tablespoons of dried parsley, 2.5 teaspoons of salt. I only added 2 teaspoons because I can always add more later. 1 1/2 teaspoons ground thyme, and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. So this is the startup that's going to go in the crock pot, and this will initially cook, probably for about 7 or 9 hours. Then we're going to add the rest at the end. And just a word about crock pots, if I kind of go over there to the crock pot. Crock pots come in all sorts of sizes and shapes. This is our very old crock pot. It's got to be at least 8 or 9 years old. Works just fine. Very basic. Typically, I would say if you're going to get a crock pot, make sure you get one that matches the size of your family. This is about 6 quarts, which works great for most families. Small families go for a 3 or 4 quart crock pot, and I tend to like the oval ones a little bit better. They just kind of tend to fit better as far as cuts of meats and that sorts of things. So let's add our ingredients and start this process. Okay, here we are with our medium or large onion. I'm going to add 6 cups of water. I'm going to add in about a pound of meat. That's what my wife got us today. So I'm doing it with one hand, so I'm doing the best I can. 1 can of chopped up tomatoes. And then our spices, again, 2 tablespoons chopped parsley, 1 1/2 teaspoon thyme, a little bit of pepper, about 1/2 teaspoon, and this is 2 teaspoons of salt, although I'll probably have to add more later, so we're just going to dump that in there too. I also added about 2 or 3 teaspoons of this beef base. This is kind of like beef bouillon. I think it tastes a little bit better. It's less salty. Didn't do it on camera because it requires 2 hands. Now the crock pot is plugged in on low, again 7 to 9 hours. Sometimes what I'll do if I'm home early in the morning is I'll actually put it on high for a little bit and then drop it down to low. It cooks it a little bit better, but today we're just going to start on low because we have an exciting outing with the family. We're going to take the kids to a cat acrobatic show. Go figure. Okay, after this has cooked for about 7 or 9 hours, we're going to add 1 zucchini, thinly sliced, finely shredded cabbage, about 2 cups. I'm going to probably kind of just barely cook that in the microwave. 1 can of beans. It was supposed to be garbanzo beans. These are mixed garbanzos and other beans. That's going to be fine. With the garbanzos, by the way, just as a little note of interest, that is the most cultivated bean in the world, the garbanzo bean. I guess all that hummus. And then we're going to add about 1/2 cup of cooked macaroni to the mix at the very end, and sprinkle on a little Parmesan cheese to make it complete. So when we reach that point, I'll show you how that goes in. So here we are with our sliced zucchini, and I'm going to take this sliced cabbage. I'm guessing that's probably a little bit more than 2 cups, but that's okay. And I'm going to actually cook it in the microwave with a little bit of water in a glass dish because I'm too lazy to do it on the stove. We're going to make it just until it's just slightly tender. Okay, here we are, phase 2. It's been cooking at low for about 7 hours. And then here we have some cabbage that's been kind of shredded, and it's been cooked in the microwave with a little bit of water in a covered glass container for about 6 minutes. So it's actually cooked, but we're going to further cook it. Here's our beans. They're supposed to be garbanzos, but I think we have a little mixture there. And here we have about roughly just shy of 1 cup of dry elbow macaroni that's been cooked, and a zucchini that's been thinly sliced. So we're just going to add those things to our mix, like that. doing my best here with one hand cooking. And then we're going to mix this in and cook it on high for about another 30-40 minutes, and it should be then ready to be served. Alright, here is our plate up, and I'm using my left hand, which will be even shakier than my other hand. We're going to go try some of this delicious minestrone. By the way, this is a recipe from about.com, so give them credit where it's due, and we're going to try this out and see how it tastes. The Parmesan cheese really makes it delicious.
There you have it, soup in a crock pot. Delicious, easy, and it was cooking all day when we were out, so how much better can you get than that? So stay tuned for my next show. I think we're going to shift again to a more technical show this next time. I'm not quite sure what, but it might have to do with looking at some wireless